What's going on? ABA podcast is back, and we are talking basketball. And the Boston Celtics are the best team in the league.
I don't know about that. OKC Thunder have something to say about that.
Best record.
How they do when they played the Thunder?
Always fun to beat down the Brooklyn Nets.
You know, the Nets needed to lose by 50. They really did. They're getting really confident over there in Brooklyn, thinking they were actually a New York team. I got news for you. There's only one team in New York this year, and that's the Knicks, who have a legitimate chance to make some noise in the playoffs. For the first time in a long time. I'm not.
We'll get to it later in our. We'll get to our East-West predictions later when we're talking about the preview.
I think the most important thing in the NBA that's come up recently, I think it came out today or maybe yesterday, there was a Woj bomb dropped that LBJ almost went to join the GSW, and for the casuals amongst us, LeBron James almost went to the Warriors.
So I hate to tell you that the almost is kind of a stretch. First things first, you got two sides of the things that there are two sides of people that have to agree on that, being the Warriors and the Lakers, and then you have a whole separate entity in LeBron James who has to say, "Yeah, I'll go play for the Warriors."
Yeah, I would do it if I was him, bro. It's like move from the 10th seed to the 9th seed, trade AD for a guy named Draymond, just like upgrades.
Trade in LA for the Bay.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
The problem with where LeBron's at right now, though, is like his career. Yeah, he's still going to say he's about chips and everything like that, but his career is actually really just about him playing with Bronny Jr.
True story.
He's going to make that happen, and honestly, if he can facilitate that happening over a chip, I think he takes that over a chip.
Can Bronny make it to the NBA?
Yeah, no, I mean, undoubtedly.
I just love the storyline's been hilarious this year with him when he doesn't play.
It's
he's
crazy.
A freshman in college.
I know. It's crazy. He's not playing hilarious. Ball, but like the name alone is putting him in a first round draft pick. You know, like I won't say he's number one overall, but like they have him projected in the first round. And for someone who's not playing basketball, it's kind of asinine in my opinion. So
I don't know. I've heard it's anywhere from late first round to early second round. Sorry for cutting you off over there, Iceman.
No,
go ahead though.
You didn't cut me off. I just agree with you.
Word. Sorry, it sounded like you had a little more to say, and I felt like I was overstepping. My bad, dog.
Good dog.
Yeah, I mean it's a wild world in the NBA. With that being said, I know the Warriors talk was on the table, but there was multiple offers for LeBron.
I was gonna say I heard Daryl Morey was calling.
Oh, dude, Daryl Morey, he's on Tinder just swiping right. He's like LeBron, Jordan Poole, Donovan Mitchell.
God, dude! If you could create an NBA Twitter where Daryl Morey can just swipe right and pay like a $50,000 membership, you'd be in business, dude.
Yeah, no, I saw a story come out. I guess he called and he's like, "Hey, yeah, so is Kevin Durant available?" And they're like, "No." Well, Bradley Beal, no. What about Devin Booker? Exactly. Just went down the list. There's no. And then eventually the response became, well, is Joel Embiid available? And so it's like, yeah, no, every team's got their untouchables, but at the same time, it's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I was going to say, Daryl Morey's me on 2K with the trade machine, dude.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta go into those sliders and crank it like 5 points in your favor, because otherwise they don't. They're just like.
And after 2-3 years, I'm sick of this roster. I'm going to trade them all away for something new.
No, and that's what's crazy too. This is like I'm going to throw Devin Booker and 4 first rounders in here for Lauri Markkanen and a first, and they're like Lauri is untouchable.
Yeah.
Okay, 2K. Okay. All right. These stars are really aligning.
This is going to be a hot take, but honestly, man, like looking at the Lakers playing without LeBron this season, I don't know how he wasn't off the table. Like
Patrick Ewing theory?
It's kind of crazy. Like look at what tonight. Lakers won 138-121. AD dropping 37. You got who else you got here?
Rui with 36.
Yeah, Austin Reeves, the LeBron James.
Call him by his grown-up name, AR-15.
Okay, AR-15. Yeah, dropping 22.
We should call him Kyle Rittenhouse.
Fuck.
The unwritten story about the whole thing though is D'Lo dropping 17 assists. I'm ignoring that one. Sorry. That was brutal. Put some respect on that boy's name.
Yeah, bro, that crossed a state line.
I think the other
going to be a
thing
federal
too,
case.
God.
It's a conspiracy, man. When
Right.
Michael Jordan took that season off because of gambling, he predetermined all of this.
Yeah, so the whole little sign right here that's like ice in the veins, it's actually not ice in the veins. It's where the bullet hole from Kyle Rittenhouse's AR went through the dude's arm.
All right, we're going to have to scrap this. Just stop right there.
I posted it. I don't care.
Oh, we got to keep the Rittenhouse.
Yeah, it's staying. I don't even care. No, I think the big thing out of LA though was
facts are on our side here.
There's no. I don't know how I thought this was a sports podcast, bro.
I'm gonna try and pull it back in right now. If you look at the Lakers tonight, what was it? Dinwiddie made his debut. You know, he only drops 10 points, but he's in there 28 minutes. Provides some defense. You know, he came in, he showed up, and then the big thing nobody about the Lakers is talking about is D'Lo. D'Lo dropped 17 assists. He's playing like a point guard. He's playing like an efficient point guard lately. So
that wasn't redundant at all.
There is only one ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Unless you want to throw some meaty clackers in there.
On the court.
There's a lot more balls on the court than just one, dude.
It's like, I got 3 right here.
You got to assume that every person has at least 2.
So there's 21 balls, not counting coaches and refs.
Well, here, let's put it this way. No, I think your math is off, right?
5 guys on each team, 2 balls
you
per
gotta
each
assume
guy.
that at least one person.
Oh wait, no, 40
has...
balls on the court, 41 balls on the court. Yeah, my math was way off.
But you also got to assume that at least one person on every team only has one nut.
Wait, no, my math was right.
It was like kind of right. What'd you say? 21?
21.
Yeah, because only one ref has one ball.
No, he's talking about 10 on each team.
10 balls on each team, and then a ball.
Excluding shoot. All right, guys, we're a sports podcast, not a mathematician.
Or anatomy.
Yeah,
everybody's okay with this game ball.
Chase still hasn't found his balls, so we don't know if he's getting there. But no, I mean, if you look at the Lakers, the way they're playing, they do have a chance, you know, to do something with the rest of the season and potentially climb up the ladder, maybe take like a 4th or 5th seed.
I like the Dinwiddie signing.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
That's like their saving grace. Like to have 2 more people around LeBron that can actually dribble and pass would be crazy. That'd be crazy. It's unheard of, though. I mean, historically speaking, he's never really had a ball-dominant guard to play alongside of him besides Dwayne Wade. I watched basketball from 2013. You know,
if you need a ball-dominant guard...
Yeah, but Dwayne became a non-ball-dominant guard.
I missed the 2008 days where it was Mo Williams hitting a 3, and then the Cavs arena would play
Corey Brewer.
Oh, gosh, bro. Candace Parker's brother was LeBron's best teammate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got to tell you guys this, though. If you need a ball-dominant guard, get the Lawnmower 3.0.
Dude, no free ads. What are you doing?
I'm digging for sponsorship, man. Come on.
If you need a
this could be you, Manscaped, but it isn't.
Yeah.
True. Speaking of that, Manscaped, hit it up, dude. I'm looking rough out here.
Me or you?
Me.
Oh, I think it looks good.
I'm working on it. I'll grow a beard one day.
We're talking, a former NBA MVP, LeBron James. We're starting at that point where we're talking this year's NBA MVP. I'd kind of like to try and get your guys' take on who you think it should be and why and where the race stands. And, what are we thinking? We're past that, halfway point.
I think, right now, as it stands, there was just this poll put out. I can't remember who does this poll, but he does it every year. It might be Bonfams. And usually it's the person in second place wins MVP, like an inordinate, ungodly percentage of the time. And right now, Shea is in second place. So, I mean, most likely if the Thunder finish with the first place in the West, he's going to be considered. But you also have to look at other guys. I mean, a lot of people are talking Nikola Jokic for his third and fourth year. What about your boy Ant? I like Ant. Like my totally not even a satirical list for MVP this year. We're going Domantas Sabonis. We're going Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Edwards, and Steve Nash.
Okay, stop. I need you to put some respect on my boy Luka Doncic.
He's not an MVP.
How?
He might be the best player, the best scorer. The game might come the most natural to him,
Number 1 in scoring, number 3 in assists.
How good would his team be if you took him off of it?
They'd be nobodies.
I think that they'd still win basketball games. They'd still have Kyrie Irving and a bunch of good role players. I think they'd be in a similar position, maybe not as high up in the standings. Definitely worse. But what I'm saying is that...
You're telling me you take the number 1 scorer in the NBA off of a team, and they're going to be somewhat similar in the standings?
I think that you vastly underestimate most NBA players' talent to score the basketball. I think that you vastly underestimate how good everybody on an NBA court is.
I think that I have to refer to our previous podcast, and it's just you hate Luka Doncic.
Not that I hate Luka. I just think that people that watch like hoop on the level that I'm watching it and that have watched it for 20 plus years have always asked the question, does this person impact winning on that level, right? Like if we held Luka to LeBron James standard or Kobe Bryant standard or Michael Jordan standard of winning, his entire career thus far would be a failure, a massive one. Has he even been to a conference finals?
I mean, he hasn't had a team around him, right? Is that what you're telling me?
He hasn't had a team around him. He had Kyrie Irving last year, and they intentionally lost because they didn't do good enough in the regular season so that they could get a draft pick. And guess where they're at this year? In the same fucking spot.
Yeah,
and so it's like...
How many games did Kyrie and him play together last year?
It's a Kyrie issue, bro. I have an actual conspiracy theory that Kyrie is an agent sent by the Jordan brand to uphold Jordan's legacy, right? If you think about it, he's sabotaged Kevin Durant, sabotaged LeBron James, and is currently sabotaging Luka Doncic. Okay? My evidence is absolutely flawless, okay?
Psyop for any threat to the legacy.
Holla, his little brand thing, it actually means destroy small forward. Translates directly into uphold Jordan brand.
Classic.
Okay, and so again, though, we're not talking about Kyrie, and we're not talking about the people around him. We're talking if he is the MVP, the most valuable player, which he could be and has the potential to be, and can score the ball better than anybody on the face of the planet right now, can rebound like a center at the small forward point guard position, who can pass the ball better than anybody not named LeBron James or Tyrese Halliburton. Okay, and even then, we're talking they're like boom, boom, boom. Depends on how good they're passing that night. It's not that I don't like Luka. What I'm saying is that until he's first in the West and competing for titles, I don't think he deserves to be that all-star starter.
So he has to be first in the West to be the MVP too?
Close to first in the West.
No, it's still a team game.
So it is still a team game, and you're 100% right. And that's why it's usually the best player on the best team. And he could be the best player in the world, but until he's the best...
And that's why they gave that shit to fucking Embiid last year.
No, exactly, and that's always been the argument. It's like the record is one of those things, because at the end of the day, it's a regular season award, right? And all these players are balling. They're all having insane seasons, averaging 30 points,
so let me
10
throw
rebounds,
this out there.
and X amount of assists, right?
I like where this conversation is going.
I do too, but let me throw this one out there just to piss Chase off as well. You got first in the East, it's Celtics, right?
So Jason Tatum should be the MVP.
No, right? I think that's the exact opposite point, right? You literally said before this, Jason Tatum's stats does not back up his case for MVP.
Hey, that was off camera. You don't talk about that stuff.
Dude, that is fucked up.
Hey, you don't say that. You don't say that.
You don't say that.
The clown has no penis.
So here's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing, right? So you're looking at a number one team. You have a superstar in Jason Tatum, right? But we are all sitting here saying that his stats don't back him up for MVP. So how can you say it's a record thing when the number one record and the best player on that team is not even in contention for MVP?
Who is playing in his mind?
Right. Yeah, but his stats don't back it up, right? Because stats, what makes him most valuable player is his stats, right? Now, if you were to sit
part of it,
if you were to sit here and tell me that
depends
you don't,
which one of us you're talking to.
True, but if you were to sit here and tell me that you don't believe Luka Doncic should be the MVP because of his defensive performance and the lackadaisical effort on the defensive side of the ball, I would give you that. But you cannot sit here and tell me he's not an MVP caliber player when he's leading the league in scoring and he's number 3 in assists.
I am literally saying that
top
he
20
is
in rebounds.
The best scorer in the world.
He's almost averaging a triple-double.
Correct. And Jokic is too, and Domantas Sabonis is too, and Russell Westbrook did it for 2 straight years, right? And he won an MVP because of it. Until these guys have done it, it was Oscar Robertson as the only one that did it. And there's something to be said about that, but what were they also doing when winning those awards? They were at the top of the standings. They were winning in the playoffs. They were always in the conversation. And it's not to say Russell. He
won his MVP.
He won MVPs. He won multiple.
No, when Russell Westbrook won his MVP for the triple-double year. I feel like that was the year they were just shoving it to him and getting him the triple-double. I don't think they were winning.
I mean, I think that they were competitive in the standings. 2016, 2017.
Nah, dude. I was wrong. Thunder were 55-27 that season.
During one of them, and then his other, they were 47-35, right?
Yes.
And so both years are winning. Both years, you take Russ off the team, they're not doing anything, right? And maybe I'm being a little bit unfair to Luka in that capacity. Obviously, you take him off that team, they're significantly worse. I'm not saying they get better, but what I'm saying is that they probably, they're in a similar spot.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, so if you look at prior like MVPs and we're talking records, right? Worst records. Let's see, Joel Embiid, 2022, 2023. Yeah, he had a win percentage of .652. That was probably one of the lower ones recently. Okay, here's one for you. Russ Westbrook, 2016, 2017. He was the MVP of that season. His record was 46-35. His team record.
That's not much different than what Luka's on pace for right
Correct.
now.
The only thing that you can argue there is that Russ Westbrook led the league in scoring, led the league in assists, and led the league in what was it?
And there's also an argument against him because everybody knows that team was feeding him purposefully to get him the triple double.
His triple double stats, right? So if you look at it though, like statistically, there are a lot of seasons here. Nikola Jokic won an MVP at 46-28, right?
Yeah.
That's a decent season. That's what, 630? Here's one for you. Kareem Abdul has the second worst win percentage.
They weren't even 500 when Kareem won it.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
No, and
Russ
Bob
Westbrook
Pettit
barely.
Yeah. No, exactly. And Moses Malone, same boat. Moses Malone again, but at the same time,
I think you just want to see Luka win. I think you're actually the biggest Luka fan ever. You just want the best of him. Are you talking
about me?
Yes.
No, I'm talking about Patty. Patty sees the potential he's not even scratching.
Say to you, like, you understand, right? Like, as an NBA guy, like, I'm a Blazers fan. That's who I'm hoping wins the NBA title every year. But I'm also just a hoop head. I just love watching basketball. Like, and so when I watch a guy like Luka and he scores 73 points and they're barely winning that game, I'm like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? And so it just, something doesn't sit right with me because when he does figure it out and when his team around him figures it out, Jesus, man, it's scary. He's still super young. He's younger than all of us.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
is Jason Tatum.
No, both of them. And so
they're like, what, 25?
Yeah, exactly. And if they even play like, let's say 2/3 of how long LeBron plays, 16 years, and they're only about 4 to 5 years deep in both of their careers, then the best is yet to come. We still have the majority of their careers ahead of them. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm not trying to be a Luka hater, but I'm saying until it shows up in the record, right? Like if I look at the NBA standings today, Western Conference, Mavericks are 7th, right? They're 32-23, so
they're on the rise. They were 8th last week,
right? And so as that continues to go, we can kind of see a trend and direction where if Luka keeps this up and they continue to rise, because they're only about 6-7 games back, I'll eat my words, bro. I will shut the fuck up and I will say Luka for MVP.
The West is wide open. The West is wide open.
Well, here's the thing, too. Like what we're missing, right? And a lot of the games are winning. Obviously, we just had the the NBA trade deadline, and the point we're missing on the Mavs too is like they came out and they solidified their roster. They made a couple of good trades. They got a couple of really good players.
Got rid of Grant Williams.
Yeah, they got some role players there. So it's just like they're going to improve. The West is still wide open, but to count them out just because of all this, like, oh hey, he's got to be a top contender on a top team, blah 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 blah. The argument for Luka simply is literally his defensive presence, right?
You can't just pull out an Usher and be like, watch this. It's like, that's not going to do it for me on Luka. And defensively, nobody's really that guy in the NBA every possession, right? It's just, if he can turn it on in the fourth quarter and use his frame and his size to make more of an impact on that side of the ball, then yeah.
Even just impact at all.
I feel like this has just become like the Luka Doncic debate. Like, I feel like we've spent so much time on the West Coast, Best Coast, we forgot about the actual MVP in the NBA, and that's Donovan Mitchell.
I mean,
I'm serious. I'm so dead ass right now, bro. I'm so dead serious.
I will agree that he has stepped up, but he lost. What's his name? What was the dude on his team that just Darius Garland? Not Darius Garland.
That's my point, and they're second in the fucking East, right behind the Celtics, bro. And it's all Donovan Mitchell. It's correct. Donovan Mitchell, and more.
Here's another guy in that sense where you're kind of like missing the point too. Is Jalen Brunson, dude?
But like, I don't know, man.
I get it that team's stacked with good player after good player after good player, but what has Jalen Brunson brought to that team? And he's consistently
part of a winning culture.
Correct, and he's kind of kept them in it, right? The other big one that I think we haven't really kind of breezed over at all is Kawhi Leonard. He's averaging 25, probably 7 and 5.
Yeah, dude, he's shooting 50, 50, and 90 over his last 30 games. It's something
he's
crazy.
Out of his mind.
He's just on a tear. All that rest management that he asked for, and
I love seeing him play well.
I love seeing him play well in New Balances, bro. New Balances are hype.
I mean,
shout out sponsorship.
I know we kind of beat up the Luka thing, but there's a lot of guys we can talk about.
You would love to beat up the Luka shit, huh?
I just want to argue your point.
Beat his meat to the Luka shit. That's for sure.
So
let's go.
I threw out a satirical list, but I think right now for me, it's SGA, it's Jokic, it's Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I don't think Jalen Brunson's really right there quite yet, but he could be considered kind of as the Luka is. At the end of the year, as we see how they finish, we can reopen this conversation. I think Giannis is getting no conversational, respect. And I think he deserves to be in it.
2 in scoring right now?
I don't know what he is in scoring, but he's over 30 points a game at 60% shooting. He's having a good year, but there's a lot going on in the Bucks that's distracting from that. And then, like we said at the end there, I think the Claw needs to be on there. Kawhi is definitely an MVP candidate.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to go ahead and rank who I think is MVP currently, I've got Jokic in first. I'd put Luka in second. I know that's kind of hard to believe. Probably Shai at 3. Yeah, Shai at 3.
Shai.
Donovan Mitchell at 4. Shai. Donovan Mitchell at 4, and then probably Giannis at 5. If that was that'd be my list right there.
You'd put all those guys above Kawhi?
Yeah, Kawhi'd be my number 6.
I'd only have Kawhi low too, just because he hasn't been doing it.
I'd put
all season.
I'd probably put Kawhi at 6 and maybe Domantas Sabonis at 7.
I like Domantas, dude. He's playing out of his head this year, but he and De'Aaron split the load so well, and it's one night it's one night it's the other.
Exactly, and I can't put him at the top 5.
Last night I think Domantas had 35 and 20, and De'Aaron had 40, and they still lost, but that was a shootout against a really good team. And then they played Denver tonight and actually pulled it out. So
I honestly, in my top 10, I want to round this one out, and you're going to hate this pick. I got AD also in my top 10.
Just not doing it for me. I'd put LeBron above AD on that team.
What? Okay.
I think AD has a better chance for defensive player of the year.
LeBron lover.
AD's averaging 25, 12, and shooting
AD
56%.
misses more shots than John
literally
Morant
doing what he
is
expected to do. I just don't think that's MVP conversation.
I'm just saying he'd be missing more shots than Ja after a pickup game.
Who's your 10?
60%, Benny.
My 10?
My number 10?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard. I want to say Jason Tatum, but I also want to say Kevin Durant.
I don't think KD's there yet. I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't know what to think about the Slim Reaper, the easy money sniper, number 35. One of the greatest scorers I've ever seen grace the earth, but it just doesn't come together for him often enough.
The Suns are kind of hard to pick apart on that one, just because you have Devin Booker, you have Kevin Durant,
And Bradley Beal, who just got injured again with the hamstring. Yeah. So, like, that's going to linger. That's just, it's problems, bro. They just keep trying to rush him back. And, I mean, we see it with Julio Jones. We see it all over football. The hamstring is not a good injury.
No.
Yeah, my top 5, I've got Luka, Giannis. Kind of want to go Ant because the Timberwolves have been so good.
Oh, I didn't even put Ant in my top 10.
I'd put Jason
Disrespectful. You're talking about guys like Jalen fucking Brunson before Ant Edwards.
I didn't put Jalen in my top 10 either.
But I do want to give a shout out to Jalen Brunson because this is more of a personal opinion. I understand this is not how the NBA MVP works. I wish it was, though, because I think it's the most relevant sport for this idea to work in. MVP should be most valuable to his team. If you take Jalen Brunson off that roster, dude.
True. They need that guard there. They just need
he's the heart.
They have nothing at guard other than him.
I don't want to say this because it's kind of insulting, but he is the little engine.
I guess they got OG now, but like
he's not even that little, bro. I had my homie humble me the other day. I was like, Jalen Brunson can't even dunk, and
he's like 6'3", isn't he?
He sent me a Jalen Brunson dunk compilation. So put some respect on the man's name. And again, I'm not trying to say like, oh my god, Jalen Brunson's not a good basketball player. And this is the real. I always predicate all of my not all my life on one thing, but I predicate all of my comparisons on this one quote, and that is, comparison is the thief of joy. And so the more that you take an apple and smash it to an orange and start talking about the qualitative, quantities of each and how one tastes or one looks, you're taking away from both of them. Just enjoy the fruits of your labor and shut the fuck up.
On that note, enjoy Chase's fruits of his labor and shut the fuck up. Let him round out his top 10.
No.
I'm just going to 5. I'm not doing 10.
Yeah, I couldn't do 10. Well, there's not 10 people to talk about for MVP.
No, I think there's 5.
And your 5 were? So let's just go over this definitively.
My 5 were Luka, Giannis, Ant, Tatum.
No Shea? No Jokic?
Probably Shea.
You left Jokic off your...
I left Jokic out.
See, that's where it gets tough.
Tatum at 6, Jokic in there at 3. Yeah.
So I don't know. For me,
I forgot about Jokic. Sorry.
I think Shea, Jokic. I think Donovan Mitchell. I think Giannis. And I'm not sure on 5. I think 5 probably Kawhi.
Just can't say it.
You just can't say
it.
I fucking spent, I don't know how many podcasts, I don't know how many minutes trying to explain that I love Luka from the bottom of my heart. Yeah. And number fucking 7 in the standings, okay?
It's so funny.
It's not funny, bro. You guys are just putting words in my mouth, dog. You guys just glazing Luka like he's a donut.
All we were doing is making observations of the words that were absent from it.
All right.
I don't think he's up there.
I think I want to hit one more point on the NBA thing, just because we're on the topic of All-Stars. Who is your guys' Rookie of the Year for the NBA?
Ooh. Well, I don't think Chet's a rookie.
There's only one answer.
Right? Like, can I get that Adidas sweatshirt? Like, rookie, definition. They play,
Yeah.
And I pull that Donovan Mitchell shit. No, but seriously, it's got to be Victor.
He had the triple double with 10 blocks.
It wasn't quite a triple double because he only. Sorry, I thought you said quadruple. Yeah, triple double, almost quadruple because he had 5 assists.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think about. There's been a couple near misses.
Rookie? Are we not?
Yeah,
we're not good.
He's not a rookie, bro. He played last year, got injured, and that's not my fault. And I get that it's just Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, he's not a rookie.
I don't know why they have him listed
because he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play. I think he got injured in summer league. Yeah, it's technically his rookie year by their definition, but I don't think he's a rookie.
Dumb.
I kind of like it because otherwise it's just like, hey, it's Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's really no competition. Scoot, as much as I like the potential,
he hasn't been coming on strong enough.
And it's gonna his skill sets he's more of a John Morant kind of player. It's gonna take some time for him to develop his game and his jumper.
Jaime Jaquez Jr. is a rookie.
Yeah, but again,
I'm just saying we gotta talk about other rookies than Victor Wembanyama.
A lot of Patty. I don't know if you've watched any tape on this dude, but Brandon Miller.
His shot's coming on, bro.
I was kind of thrown away by him recently.
Shooter number 1.
Yeah, he's averaging.
Bring that thing to the gang.
Yeah, in the last few weeks, he's averaging 21 or 23 something points per game.
Yeah,
got the heat in the hat.
He's dropping 43% of his 3 points from behind the arc.
He just has like
one of shots behind the arc.
Yeah, no, one of the better NBA bodies and builds. He's still really young, so when he puts on some strength and like he already has the shot too, so it's like he could really, really, really be good in a couple of years. And
now, here's my question.
Yeah.
So if he finishes out statistically better than Victor, obviously on the defensive side of the ball, I don't think he'll do it. But like statistically better shooting, he's helping his team win a little bit more. His plus minus is, better than whatever Victor's is. Do you put him in the conversation, or has Victor already won this award in your opinion?
I mean, so if Victor just sustains what he's doing, he's averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game versus, Brandon Miller at 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists a game. Brandon would have to step that up to like over 20 points a game, over 5 rebounds.
Which means he'd have to be scoring 30 plus a game.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty deep in the season, but at the same time, it's also like when you have, you're averaging 15 points and you're only playing, 20 minutes a game, right? And you don't have that many points. So as the point total goes up, your average will increase a little bit faster. Yeah. But still, I just think like right now it's kind of run away. Like Lively the second for the Mavs is playing really well. There's some good rookies in the year. It was kind of what they said was a weak draft class, and some guys squeezed through that we just didn't really expect. Some real grinders, some real good players. But I think, Chet is the only one really within an arm's reach, ironically, of Victor, and that's not because they're both lanky fucking big birds on Sesame Street trying to play some hoop, but
they truly look like brothers from another mother in terms of their body type.
Bro. You see them go at each other? Yeah, dude. You didn't see the tape? When they played each other, bro, they were going at it. They were fouling the shit out of each other. Victor was like dropping his head.
There can only be one.
I will tell you guys.
Barbecue chicken alert.
To kind of move away from, I guess, those two as well. I'm talking the number 3 overall pick in the draft, Scoot Henderson, to, I believe, Portland.
He's a good player.
He's been playing decent, but I also don't think he's kind of lived up to the number 3 pick.
Not yet.
He's just going to take some time to develop his game.
Well, I think
he also got injured, bro. He was injured in the offseason, so like he really just started getting reps.
Yeah, that, and I think Portland's going to try and run a lot of their rock through him for the rest of the season, and trying to get him that experience. But I think where they're at in their season, they might be trying for that draft pick.
No,
them up with somebody good.
I do want to bring it back to Brandon Miller just 1 second. I'm rooting for Brandon Miller's Rookie of the Year just because I need to see Malika Andrews just not be able to handle it. That's all.
Yeah,
good old Malika.
She kind of picks and chooses how she would like to paint pictures sometimes, and
I'm just salty for his family on draft night when she brought up all of his stuff. I was like, bruh.
It was an interesting situation. It was an interesting situation at the time. There was a lot of unknowns still, and you have to do you realize he was at the time purportedly involved.
Sure, I just think as a journalist that you should probably wait until official police reports come out before you go roasting a kid on his draft night.
110%. But it's not also to say, at the same time, maybe people should be aware that he's caught up in this.
Sure, I agree. We were aware. Yeah, everybody was aware.
But yeah, calling Malika Andrews a journalist is generous, bro.
That's what she calls herself. I'm just showing respect where I should be.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's been some fishy shit at ESPN, and I'm going to say it's not the sardines.
I use official titles and official titles only on this podcast.
Yep. Listen, this is a professional podcast. Only she calls herself a journalist. She's a journalist.
Jesus. Well, hey, guys, with that being said, I think we've kind of covered a pretty good amount of the NBA. Coming from us next time will be... Really? Thanks, Raphael. Go ahead and put your fucking daggers away.
At least you know I'm a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. With that being said, next podcast we'll probably hit some spring training, get into the baseball scene, maybe expand our Verizons to ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Did you say Verizons? We're gonna get sued.
Jesus. Maybe I'll get a free cell phone.
Could be you, Verizon.
Horizon, whatever you want to say it, whatever you want to call it. I'll cut all this shit out.
NFL, we're going to do our NFL awards next week.
Oh, NFL awards, yep. We're going to rework what we saw. We're also going to add a couple awards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like the ESPN Not Top 10. We'll get some shitty awards in there for doing shitty things. We'll get some good awards in there We'll talk
shitty
snubs.
things.
Yeah, we'll talk snubs. We'll talk some comedy. Maybe I'll tell Rax over there to shave his shit off his face. And yeah,
this here's a caterpillar, and it's gonna grow into a butterfly, boy.
That's a dick duster, and it's gonna be grown into a penis.
Just wait till he hits his metamorphosis stage.
Anamorphosis. I'm a
Anyway,
metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis.
I'm a fucking anamorph.
Like the other podcast, we're rambling for 10 minutes.
Underrated book series.
On that note, this ABA podcast. I'll catch you guys next time.